There is a kind of exhaustion that doesn't come from physical work. It comes from thinking. Not normal thinking, but constant thinking. Replaying conversations, reanalyzing situations, imagining different outcomes, questioning your words, questioning your tone, questioning your decisions, questioning yourself. Part 43 is about overthinking and why some people feel like their mind never truly rests. From the outside, overthinking often looks like intelligence. You seem thoughtful, reflective, aware of details others miss. You notice subtle changes in people's behavior. You analyze situations deeply. You think before you act. And sometimes this ability is helpful. It helps you avoid mistakes. It helps you understand complex situations. It helps you read between the lines. But there is another side to overthinking that most people don't see. The constant tension, the endless mental loops, the quiet anxiety that sits in the background of your thoughts. Because overthinking rarely comes from curiosity, it usually comes from fear. Fear of making the wrong decision, fear of misunderstanding someone, fear of being misunderstood, fear of regret. When your brain believes mistakes are dangerous, it tries to prevent them by thinking more and more. The mind becomes a prediction machine. It tries to simulate every possible outcome before anything happens. If you say this, how will they react? If you choose that path, what will happen next? If you make the wrong move, what could go wrong? At first, this strategy feels useful. Thinking more feels like control. But slowly, the thinking becomes too much. Decisions become harder instead of easier. Small choices feel overwhelming. Simple conversations replay in your head long after they are over. You might remember something you said hours ago and suddenly wonder if it sounded strange. You might analyze someone's facial expression and start questioning whether they were upset. Your brain keeps searching for hidden meaning even when there is none. Part 43 goes deeper into where this pattern begins. Many people who overthink grew up in environments where mistakes had consequences. Maybe criticism was common. Maybe misunderstandings created conflict. Maybe emotional reactions around you were unpredictable. When the environment feels unstable, the brain adapts. It learns to scan everything carefully. It learns to anticipate problems before they appear. The goal is safety. If you think through every possible scenario, maybe you can prevent pain. But the brain does not know when to stop. It keeps running simulations even when nothing is wrong. This constant mental activity slowly becomes exhausting. Another reason overthinking develops is emotional sensitivity. Some people simply notice more details than others. They notice shifts in tone. They notice subtle expressions. They notice changes in energy in a room. This awareness can create deeper understanding, but it can also create constant mental processing. Your brain keeps interpreting signals, trying to understand what everything means. Part 43 reveals another paradox. Overthinkers often appear calm on the outside. They don't always show how active their mind is. They may seem quiet, composed, even relaxed. But internally, their thoughts move rapidly. One idea leads to another. One memory connects to another possibility. Their mind jumps between past and future constantly, thinking about what already happened and what might happen next, rarely resting in the present moment. This creates another challenge: decision paralysis. When your brain analyzes every option, making choices becomes difficult. You want to make the perfect decision, the safest decision, the decision with the best possible outcome. But perfection rarely exists. So the mind keeps searching, comparing possibilities, imagining consequences. Sometimes overthinking becomes so intense that you delay decisions entirely. Not because you are incapable of deciding, but because your mind cannot stop evaluating every possibility. Part 43 also explains the relationship between overthinking and control. When life feels uncertain, thinking feels like control. If you can predict outcomes, you feel safer. But life cannot be predicted perfectly. There will always be unknown factors. And when reality does not match the scenarios your mind created, frustration appears. You may feel like you should have thought harder, analyzed more, predicted better. But the truth is, no amount of thinking can eliminate uncertainty completely. Part 43 touches something important about overthinking. Many overthinkers are highly responsible people. They care deeply about doing the right thing. They care about how their actions affect others. They want to avoid hurting people. They want to make thoughtful choices. That desire for responsibility turns into constant analysis. But responsibility does not require endless thinking. Sometimes the healthiest choice is trusting yourself without analyzing every detail. Another hidden effect of overthinking is emotional fatigue. Your brain never truly turns off. Even during quiet moments, your mind continues running through possibilities. This constant mental activity consumes energy, and over time it can create burnout. Not because life is overwhelming, but because your thoughts never stop processing life. Part 43 also explains why overthinking often happens at night. During the day, distractions keep the mind occupied. Work, conversations, tasks. But when everything becomes quiet, the mind finally has space. And that space fills quickly with unfinished thoughts. Conversations replay. Decisions are reconsidered. Future scenarios appear. The mind tries to solve everything before sleep arrives. But thinking rarely produces closure. It simply produces more thinking. Part 43 moves toward understanding rather than criticism. Overthinking is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of a mind that learned to protect itself through analysis. Your brain is trying to prevent mistakes, trying to keep you safe, trying to avoid pain. But safety does not require constant mental pressure. The brain can learn something new. It can learn that not every thought needs to be solved. Not every possibility needs to be explored. Not every decision needs to be perfect. Sometimes the healthiest choice is allowing uncertainty to exist without trying to control it. Learning to step away from constant analysis is not easy. The mind will still produce thoughts, but you do not need to follow every one of them. You can observe a thought without entering the spiral it offers. You can notice a worry without building an entire scenario around it. And slowly, your mind begins to relax. Part 43 ends with this idea. Overthinking comes from a mind that cares deeply, a mind that tries to understand the world and protect itself from mistakes. But life is not meant to be solved entirely in advance. Some answers appear only after you move forward. Some clarity appears only after you act. And sometimes peace appears when you stop trying to control every possibility and allow life to unfold without constant analysis. Your mind does not need to predict everything. It only needs to trust that you will handle whatever happens next.